What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Nikki Bella apologizes, Chris Jericho is getting massive heat from WWE Women, a released WWE superstar has gone massive, WWE snubs CM Punk, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now listen to the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, first story looks at Nikki Bella apologizes for insulting Chyna in 2013. And Nikki Bella has released a statement following the release of a 2013 appearance on the television show The Fashion Police. As reported earlier, both Nikki and Brie Bella appeared on Joan Rivers' show, making a joke about Chyna's appearance. Fans blasted both Bellas, although a case can be made it was Nikki who made the remark that she couldn't tell whether Chyna is a man or a woman. Based on the video clip, Brie appears to be silent other than laughing at her sister's remark. Nikki has since apologized, posting on Twitter, "I want to sincerely apologize for a comment I made over 8 years ago on Fashion Police. I'm so sorry and embarrassed by my 29-year-old self who offended Chyna and in turn hurt her family and others. I wish I could take it back. Please learn from me, it's not worth hurting someone's feelings for a meaningless laugh. Chyna will always be remembered as an icon and a pioneer who helped create the opportunities for women in wrestling that exist today. Thank you, Chyna." Now, it's pretty cool that she has apologized, so I think maybe the IWC should back off, as it does take a lot to admit to one person's mistakes. So far, Brie Bella hasn't mentioned anything, but this should be just an overall apology. Next up, Chris Jericho gets massive heat from WWE Women. It looks like Chris Jericho hasn't forgotten the criticism leveled at him at AEW for the finish to his double cage match at Blood and Guts. You may recall Jericho's fall off the cage saw him land on some conspicuously arranged crash pads, which led to WWE superstar Shotzi Blackheart mocking him. During a recent episode of his YouTube show Saturday Night Special, Jericho addressed the critics again, saying, "So people laugh at that sort of stuff, but there's no reason to, because this is the real deal, and it can happen at any time. Best of luck to anybody in our business, and anybody that bags on someone who's taking a chance and putting their bodies on the line can really F off, especially people in the business." Le Champion didn't mention any names, but it was clear he was upset about the feedback. I could say some names. There's a couple of chicks in WWE who said some stuff, and they should probably not have said that. They probably weren't trained any better, and in 6 months they'll probably be asking us for a job anyways, and I'll remember that, so we'll leave it at that. If Jericho still had his infamous list, you can be sure that the folks who criticized this spot just made it. Should Chris Jericho worry about this criticism or just move on? Next up, an update on Kevin Owens. Is Kevin Owens taking off time from the WWE? Well, that was the rumor going around a week back after KO's loss to Sami Zayn at Hell in a Cell, but now it looks like his absence will be short-lived. While Owens announced on social media that he'll be taking time off, Dave Meltzer reports the planned time off was only going to be for 2 weeks, which explains why Owens will face Sami Zayn in a last man standing match on the 2nd July SmackDown to determine who enters this year's Money in the Bank match. Of course, if Owens wants more time off, the last man standing bout is a good way to write him off with an injury. Next up, WWE preparing for Seth Rollins vs Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has been bulldozing through all opposition, and while it looks like he has 2 major opponents on the horizon, Edge at Money in the Bank and John Cena at SummerSlam, the WWE has been hinting at a future showdown with former Shield brother Seth Rollins as well. Fans watching WrestleMania Backlash saw Seth Rollins seemingly confront Reigns following the Tribal Chief's successful Universal Championship defense against Cesaro, only for Rollins to shift gears and assault Cesaro. Reigns has hinted at tensions with Reigns, but the WWE has been shown impressive restraint in not pulling the trigger on the match. Dave Meltzer commented on the potential matchup during a recent Wrestling Observer Radio, saying that will probably be September, if they even get to it by September, because the last I heard for SummerSlam was Edge vs Seth Rollins. So, if Seth Rollins were to beat Edge, then it makes all the sense in the world to go with Seth vs Roman at that point. The WWE already seems to be laying the groundwork for Edge vs Rollins at SummerSlam, and it wouldn't surprise us if Rollins were to cost Edge this match at his rumored Money in the Bank rematch with the head of the table. While fans have seen Roman vs Seth many times, a heel versus heel matchup could be a great way to build up heat over the fall as the WWE figures out what's next for Reigns. With rumors of the WWE eventually turning Reigns babyface, could Rollins be the catalyst that sees him turning back? What do you guys think? Should Reigns turn babyface, and should the WWE book a Reigns vs Rollins feud? Next up, WWE waiving non-compete clauses. The WWE has released an incredible number of wrestlers this year, with each one having a no-compete clause that prevents them from working for another wrestling company for 90 days. However, the WWE waived Andrade's no-compete clause, and according to Fightful Select, another wrestler has had their no-compete clause shortened. While there's no word on who this wrestler is, past rumors of released wrestlers asking for a waiver suggest the WWE simply may not care about who goes to work for the rival promotions, and the company is happy to not pay the wrestlers to sit at home. Next up, a released WWE superstar is massive. A former WWE superstar, Buddy Murphy, aka Matt Adams, isn't sitting around at house drowning in his sorrows in pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. No, the former Cruiserweight Champion and Raw Tag Team Champion recently showed off a phenomenal physique in an Instagram post along with the following message: "Sometimes we gotta look in the mirror and evaluate. I'm evaluating, and the chip on my shoulder is getting bigger. Watch out, I'm the hungriest wolf." With news of the WWE waiving its no-compete clause for certain superstars, fans may see Murphy in the ring sooner than expected. Next up, Randy Orton's heartfelt salute to the Singh brothers. The Bollywood boys, aka Sameer and Sunil Singh, were released last week, but their time in the WWE didn't go unnoticed by Randy Orton. Orton repeatedly clashed with the Singh brothers during his feud with Jinder Mahal over the championship, including some sick bumps taken by the brothers Singh. The Bollywood boys responded to a tweet showing one of these sick bumps, writing, "This was all about winning and earning Randy Orton's respect. We wanted to shine in the small moments we had, make them look like $1,000,000 and have people talking." Randy Orton replied to Sameer and Sunil's tweet saying, "Respect was earned long before those tables came into play. Something tells me I'll see you guys down the road. Until then, show everyone what you guys can do." The WWE has released a slew of superstars, and fans are anxious to see where they will turn up. Where do you guys think the Singh brothers will end up? Next up, CM Punk disrespected by WWE. A recent list of John Cena's greatest rivalries that didn't mention any of his matches against CM Punk has some fans thinking this was an intentional omission, as well as a slight meant to disrespect the man who walked out on the WWE in 2014, never to return. Here's a list of Cena's top opponents as compiled by the WWE. Going down from 10 to 1, The Miz, JBL, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Triple H, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Batista, Edge, and Randy Orton. Sportskeeter's Danny Hart made the case for Punk's inclusion, arguing CM Punk's victory over John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011 is among the best matches of both superstars' careers. They also competed in a WWE Championship #1 contenders match on Raw in February 2013. The 26-minute encounter which Cena won is considered to be one of the greatest matches in the show's history. Now, this isn't the first time the WWE has taken a shot at Punk. Fans will forever remember the WWE sending release papers to Punk on his wedding day, a move they claimed was an accident, but which was seen by many fans as the WWE trying to play games with Punk for leaving the company. As we'll see, this isn't the only case of the WWE ignoring a page from its past. As finally, is the WWE ashamed of the Divas title? And last but not least, while the Divas era is considered a low point for women's wrestling in WWE, it's an undeniable part of history, but some fans feel the WWE is trying to avoid even mentioning the word Divas. Fans pointed to a recent tweet by the WWE that omitted the word Divas. Paige defended the emoji butterfly and Blaze championship against Naomi in an edge of your seat title bout at Money in the Bank 2014. A longtime WWE fans know that the Divas championship featured a butterfly design, and while the Divas era was known for some ridiculous matches such as Playboy pillow fights, there were some good workers during this era. Should the WWE though ignore its past? Well, besides CM Punk and Chris Benoit? Well, let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.